How do you handle criticism? Because it's a fact of life. It happens. It can happen. And the better you get at handling it, I suspect the less it's going to happen. And also, if you have a concern, if you have a fear of criticism, then that in itself is going to cause you terrific amounts of tension. And it will undoubtedly hold you back in your business because you will not voice yourself as clearly and confidently as you'd like to, and you just simply won't behave in a dynamic way in your business and your life the way that you want to, because you're going to be held back. You're going to be curtailed and constrained by that fear of criticism. So let's look at it. Let's just knock it on the head once and for all. It happened to me recently, just in the past few weeks. And it really brought home to me how unpleasant criticism is, honestly. I'm someone, for goodness sakes, who's had a fair amount of success in my field and a fair amount of respect and accolades, whatever you like. So, if with all of that around me, I can still attract criticism and I can still be affected by it, then I think it's safe to say that a lot of people will be as well. So I got this email from this lady and it said, I think the advice that you gave someone in a recent workshop was quite wrong and potentially quite dangerous. And you make such a fuss about being unqualified or not having formal qualifications that I think I'm going to tell everybody about you and how dangerous I think you are. Woo! I know, it was a bit of a shock, I can tell you. So what had happened was that someone in a workshop had talked about some trauma that she'd had early in her life. Really, we've all had stuff happen. And if we waited until some bright, shiny day when we felt we were completely perfect before we actually did any work with people, that would probably be never. So I'm of the opinion that this lady was perfectly able to go and do great work in her field, which she is in fact doing. This other lady is from quite an extreme therapeutic perspective. By the way, this is way too much detail, but never mind. But anyway, she's of quite an extreme therapeutic perspective, which is that you have to get completely clear of everything before you can work with people, otherwise you're bringing it into the session. I don't agree with that. Now, nonetheless, it was quite a shock. So I want to share with you a couple of ways that you can address and handle any criticism. Might not be as extreme as that, but it could be. And if you fear that criticism, and it's really common, that fear of criticism. So let's look at how you're going to address it, even before the darn thing happens, if it ever happens. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to address it. You want to run from it. You want to address it. Look it up close, grab it with both hands, deal with it, look at it. Now, it can be feedback. If it's feedback, you can feel it. It's someone who is genuinely caring and concerned and wanting to give you feedback so that it's useful going forward. You can feel the difference. One feels like it's a spear and it's just meant to harm. And the other is, hey, it's like, yeah, and you don't feel the need to have the defenses rising up straight away. So if it's feedback, not a problem. Chew it over, talk it over, handle it. Maybe it'll make you better going forward. If it's criticism, on the other hand, you can feel the difference. I want you to address it first of all and identify whether it's friendly feedback or really an antagonistic attack. There you go. So decide what it is. If it's feedback, not a problem. Easy peasy, handle it, deal with it. So if it's criticism, let's go on to the next thing that you do. You need to affirm your own value again. You need to affirm your own worth, your own value, your own standing. You need to reset yourself, because an attack like that can throw you. It can throw you. I mean, there's very few people that it's not going to throw, that it's going to knock you off balance. So you want to do a little bit of work to get you back to balance. You can do that in two ways. You can have a conversation with yourself, which looks at who you are, what you've done in your life, what your intentions are, what your motivations are, to help others and contribute. You can also have that conversation with others, with a trusted other. And that's a really good idea too. Do both, in fact. But either way, you just want to get back to a place of clarity and certainty about who you are and what you're about. It can be interesting sometimes to just explore where the other person is coming from. I mean, I never find that really successful or happy people are attacking you or personally attacking you. It's usually people who aren't so successful. And what I mean by that is they don't feel that they're being successful. They're not doing the work that they want to do. They don't have the clients, they don't have the business, which is the case with the lady who was attacking me. So sometimes that's really helpful, just to understand where they're coming from, what's going on for them. But that's what I see. People who are really happy and they're getting on with their lives and they're doing good work, honestly, they haven't got the time or the inclination to be attacking people like us. So bear that in mind. So I hope that helps, because it's so important that you don't have that fear of criticism at the back of your mind holding you back. And it's also really important that you address criticism and that it doesn't fester, it doesn't linger, it doesn't take a hold. You don't give your power away to that attack. I have seen that happen. I have seen people be really wounded for a long period of time by someone else's sniping at them, someone else's undermining of them. And then, it just festers for years, and it takes a hold and it has an effect. And maybe years later, they have a conversation with me or someone like me, and I have to hold them by the shoulders and go, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Let's just stop and take a look at this. And then I have to walk them through what I've just spoken with you, what I've just walked you through. And we really take it apart, we take it to task, and we lay it to rest. We lay it to rest. When you're a sensitive person, and I'm a pretty sensitive person, believe it or not, I genuinely am. When you're a sensitive person, and you really do care about the work that you do in the world and the standard of the work that you do, then you have to be careful that you are not too vulnerable, not too open to criticism, and that you handle it straight away. You deal with it. You lay it to rest. You get closure on it. You don't let it get a hold on you. Please don't let that happen. Please don't let that happen. Because if you're a well-intentioned person and you care about making a difference in the world, you care about contributing, then it's very important that you are freed up and free to act accordingly. I don't want you to have your light diminished. I don't want you to have your work undermined in the world. I don't want you to have your energy diminished. I want you to be free to be, yes, the best version of you in the world, of course, but I want you to be free to do the good work that you're here to do and that you can do in the world. I don't want you to be held back in any way, shape, or form by someone else's nonsense. Nonsense. That which makes no sense. Okay? So please take that on board and make it work for you. And I will see you on the next video. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you get a notification when we put another video on here. And I will see you on the next video. Have a great day where you are. All the best.